everyone. I wanted to talk about what we did on our second month of homeschool. It is July in the summertime, and summertime happened. It was a very short homeschool month. We went to the beach for a week, and then our local art center sent me this information. They still had spots open for a Broadway camp. And she loves being on stage. She was lit up, so excited to do it. So I was like, okay, do you want to do it? Because I asked her if she wanted to do a camp, and she didn't. So she was so excited for that. Basically, we just did 2 weeks of homeschool, and while she was in camp, the only thing we really did is I said, we won't do homeschool, but you need to read a book to us every night. So, because we're really trying to work on her reading so she's more independent and can do more homeschool on her own. So let's jump into everything we did. We went to Cape May, New Jersey for a week. It's one of our favorite places. And we read books about dolphins and watched a documentary on dolphins. And I was going to do a whale and dolphin sightseeing, but honestly, every day you're in Cape May, it's right near the Cape, which is what we learned in the documentary. And the dolphins like to go into the warm waters of the bay, especially to give birth. So I think every day in Cape May we go a lot and we see dolphins. And we've seen some whales from shore as well. So we were having so much fun just doing like pool and beach stuff that we actually never scheduled the boat. But we did so many amazing, enriching things and spent family time together. And we live in the woods on a hill, so she doesn't get a lot of time on her scooter, and they have an adorable promenade. In the morning, I took her out and she did her scooter. She found a horseshoe crab, which is really cool, and carried it up to our beach chairs. Seashells, they had art projects from the resort, Congress Hall as well. So an amazing experience, and I think enriching experience, and for sure we learned a lot about ocean and ocean creatures. We have this amazing amusement park near us called Dutch Wonderland, and we are going to meet a friend for the day. So usually if it's over an hour drive, I let her watch a movie in the car, but I was like, no, we still need to do homeschool. And I was like, you can watch the movie at the end. It was negotiations. She's like, well, let me do it, watch my movie on the way, and then I'll do homeschool at night. I was like, no, you're going to be hot. You're going to be tired from being at an amusement park all day. Like, let's get it done. So I set up her desk. She did a good job. And then she asked me to create more worksheets for her in like this homework book, she called. So not only did I did the presentation on the math before, and then she did her workbooks on her desk in the car, and then she did more homework problems that I had set for her in her notebook. So that worked really well to get in the car and choose an hour to do her homeschool in the car. I was considering getting a reading curriculum, and then I spoke to some other homeschool moms, and they actually just do what I do, and I love that. So I got some, I don't know if I covered this in the last one, but on Prime Day, I got just some beginning reading activities that were pretty cheap to do. And so the learning happens in there, and then we read a lot throughout the day. So these like level 2, level 1 readers, and then she really likes these as well. We both read, so one page is a lot harder and the other one is easier at her level. So I read a page, she reads a page, and so on and so forth. And she's really improved a lot in her reading. One of my favorite things down in Philadelphia that I've done, I haven't done it in like 15 years, was the Betsy Ross house. I was just so in awe of, like, she was an entrepreneurial woman in the 1700s in America, a seamstress. So I researched it, and I reserved this book, The Boy Who Carried the Flag. And it's a very emotional story with General Washington crossing the Delaware and Betsy Ross sewing the flag. And like, I even got choked up, and I think we read it 3 times. It's a pretty long book, and she was so into it. So I'm so excited to take her down maybe next month to the Betsy Ross house, maybe in September when it's cooled down a bit, and let her experience that. And come to find out, the whole story isn't true. But it's like, again, it's like learning through a character of a young boy history, like the most amazing thing. And then the other thing we've been doing on the way to camp and back, she really likes Who, When, Wow podcast, and it goes over forgotten people in history. And this one woman, I think we've listened to it 5 times. Bessie Coleman, she was the first African American female pilot. So we read the whole Wikipedia page on her. We've listened to that so many times. The Spy, Virginia Hall was another one. We've listened to a lot of them, but she was so, like, they talked about how she was a barnstormer and did like all these crazy piloting things, Bessie Coleman. So we were able to put those 3 events, Betsy Ross and the other 2 in her history timeline, which I think I really like this. It's a really neat way to sort of reinforce like where it is on the timeline. The Battle of Trenton. So we put Bessie on there, and then Virginia Hall. I don't know if they still have the Spy Museum, but I went again a long time ago in DC at the Spy Museum. So that might be something we do in the fall as well. The first week of August, which is this week, she ended up doing another week at camp since she liked it so much, was musical theater and improv. But we are going on a Caribbean cruise, going to Tortola and St. Thomas. And so I got this incredible book I've researched it on the library and reserved it, and it was like cooking in the Caribbean. So she called it a carnival night last weekend, and we made Caribbean rice, jerk chicken. We tried to make plantains because she has done that in school before. I think some Cuban family came in and did that. And we couldn't find them at the grocery store. So I got some plantain chips, and we read the history, a small history book on the Caribbean, and then we pulled out the atlas and looked at the atlas and where we are going in the Caribbean. So that was a really nice thing to do, and I feel like when we are on the island, we have 2 awesome excursions, that it's going to help her understand. It talked a lot in the book about African slaves and how they brought seeds over, and a lot of the influence into Caribbean food is from the African slaves. So we did speak a lot this week between Bessie Coleman and discrimination, and she asked me what like racism was. So we've had big conversations about all of that. While she was in camp that first week, this used to be her room because we were adding to her room. So I got my office back together, and her homeschool stuff was in our kitchen in a cabinet. So I have been reorganizing and trying to get my office. It's my Disney office because I also have a Disney YouTube channel, Magical Mom Laura. But I'm trying to get it not only to be a Disney office, but also a homeschool office. So I ordered shelves from Target. So my husband has to put those together, and those are going to go there. And I got a new printer. Our printer died. And we need to put up like the whiteboard. I want to do the question of the wall of why. Like if she has any questions, she can write it on there. And the other thing I did was I went to Target, and they had all this amazing stuff for beginning of school and getting ready for school. So this really cool teacher planner. It wasn't much. I don't know, like $8 or something by Emily Lee. And I got these, which I thought would be great on the shelves, these little totes. And these are like sticky label makers. So with her in camp, I really took advantage of the time to get organized for homeschool. She starts going 3 days a week to a learning center, it's called. And we went and met some of the families, and she clicked with them right away. They're all very like creative, free spirits, homeschooled kids. So it's kind of like a co-op or something where homeschool kids can go 3 days a week with self-directed learning. So it was nice to meet other families and know that she's going to click with these kids. They're very Montessori kids, which she was in Montessori for 4 years. So they reminded me of Montessori kids, and I think it's going to work really well. So we're going to do, I think an hour a day of homeschool even when that starts up. And then she's going to be able to pick what activities she wants to do, like extracurricular activities. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next month with what we've been up to. Bye.